the second exercise now,
Okay.
which I call emotional control. Now, what I want you to do for this is to, as we go through life, there are lots of situations that come up where we want to do something, or at least we think we want to do something, and an emotion gets in the way and stops us.
Mhm.
You've experienced that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My life is more emotional than I don't want it to be anymore.
Okay. So we're gonna very directly explore that. Now, what I want you to do is to pick something that's, there's some things that are just super important to you that you kind of obsess over. There, why can't I do that?
Mm.
Leave those aside.
Okay.
And there are things that are important to you, but not life and death stuff that you'd also like to really get into. And let's leave those aside.
Okay.
What I want you to look for is something that you'd like to do, but either often, anywhere from often to all the time, an emotion gets in the way.
Mhm.
But it's not a big thing. It's a smaller, less important thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Find something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it something you can talk about?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I grew up with angry parents, and so I would like to release my own intolerance, because then we model what they do, but I don't want to react that way in anger all the time. And it is starting to bother me to be around her because she's always angry, not just
Okay.
sometimes.
Okay.
So I'd like to
So
release that.
what is it that you want to release?
Well, I know there's good anger and bad anger, because the good one pushes us to make changes and do things.
Okay.
But the bad one, it sort of keeps you uh, stuck and not and holds you back from succeeding, like, because
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
switch more to a business life,
Okay.
coaching life. Yeah.
Can I make one little suggestion here? A
Yes.
shift for you. Use I language.
Oh, yeah. I would like to change my behavior in the uh, anger, to release it, because I know it has held me back from succeeding in the areas that I would like to succeed in.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
That sounds like kind of a big thing.
Yes, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
I would like to start, like, we can address that, but I would like to start with something less important
Yeah.
and less of an emotional charge. And it might even be a tiny example of where this creeps in just a little bit, but it is far from overwhelming.
um, can you give me examples or of a
Um,
little,
um,
please?
so an example might be little things that annoy you,
Yeah.
and you'd rather life would be simpler if you didn't get annoyed. Here, here's a filter that might help. When there's a situation and your response is not in proportion to what you're responding to. In other words, when your response is more powerful than like it should be,
Right. Um,
but it's not a big thing. You're not about to strangle somebody or
no,
head or scream at them.
right. Yes. I get annoyed even if it's a small behavior of another person and makes me angry
Okay,
or frustrated. Yeah.
okay, frustrated. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to think of a specific instance where that happened, of one specific person and a specific interaction
Okay.
that led you to respond that way.
I got frustrated with a friend of mine because I knew the facts, but her response is opinions and not facts. Like her facts were not right. It didn't line up with her opinion. And I knew that for the reason because I took the course and some laws were changed, but she was still thinking the old laws and wasn't up on her facts.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So it was basically, now the frustration, was that triggered by her inconsistency? Or was it triggered by the fact that her reality did not match your reality?
Yes, the latter one. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it's about me more. Yeah. Mhm.
okay. So
Yeah.
you get frustrated when people's reality doesn't line up with yours.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's very common.
Oh,
All right. So what I want you to do is to remember that situation and step into that frustration. Frustration is the right word?
yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so step into that frustration so you actually feel it now, so you actually experience it. Now, I'm gonna explain something about my model of how we as humans work with emotions, because this is important. Remember when we did the touch exercise, what I
Yeah.
focused on were the sensations in your body. Now, the model I work with, we talk about emotions all the time. There's anger and frustration and grief and lust and excitement and joy and all of those things. Some of them are positive emotions, some of them are negative emotions. And the reality that I've discovered from all my many years as working as a coach, therapist, hypnotist, is that we can talk about them in those ways, in the normal ways, till we're blue in the face and nothing happens. That
Yes.
you may share some of that experience.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And I have developed a model. And my model says this, that the emotions that we talk about and think about and try to push away are labels that exist in our thinking brain. They're nothing more than labels. Because what were the words I used? Anger, frustration, joy, lust, love, happiness, all of those things, those are labels.
Yes.
And what do the labels refer to? Now, academic truths for this may be different from what I'm describing, or it may be more sophisticated. I'm sticking with this because it's a model that works.
Mhm.
I don't care whether it's true or not. It works.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
yeah, so my model says that every one of those emotions, the building blocks of those emotions are those sensations in our body. That
Oh,
cold knot of fear in our belly, that expansive feeling around our heart, that sense of something, call it energy or whatever you want, rising up from our diaphragm up through our chest and even out through our head, that tingle in your spine, that
mhm.
all of those things, those are the sensations, the visceral sensations. And every emotion, this is my model, every emotion has a unique set of those sensations. And our brain, which is a pattern matching engine, and which gets reports from all of our body and compares things. And, there'll be a little part of your thinking brain that says, I know what that is. She's happy. Or I know what that is. She's frustrated. And
Yeah.
so that's the model that I'm working with. Now, this model has a huge advantage over the old model where we just talk about frustration, in that we're not talking about a label anymore. We're talking about the sensations that make up
Oh,
your version of frustration. And the exciting things about sensation is we can change them at will. So that's what we're going to do. And when you change them, you can diminish the emotion and even make it go away. You can amplify the emotion. That's a fun thing to do with the positive emotions. And you
yeah.
can transform the emotion into something else entirely.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the background of why I'm asking you to experience this frustration. Understand?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so to do this work, the next step, I want you to access that frustration in a way that you can feel the sensations that go with that sensation and kind of hold on to them,
Oh.
to hold them there. And then we're going to play with them. First, I'm going to get you to describe them, then we're going to play with them. Okay, so
Okay. So that way, to get that frustration back, do I have to imagine that situation again, I guess, to get it? Yeah.
that's usually the best way to get it. Now,
Yeah.
you may, once you have done that, you
Yeah.
may recognize, oh, those are the sensations I feel when I'm frustrated. And you
Oh,
may be able to let go of the actual event that caused it and just hold on to frustration, because
yes.
it's the same thing. That's a specific example of frustration.
Yeah.
Okay, understand?
And if, yes, yes, thank you. Yeah. Uh,
So the first step is to get the frustration back and notice what the sensations are.
Yes, okay, I got
Okay.
it now.
Okay, and tell me about the sensations you're aware of. First, where's the strongest sensation? Where in your body is the strongest sensation?
Well, it's always been felt in my stomach and belly there. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So tell me about the sensation you feel in your belly. If it had a color, what color would it be?
Fiery red.
Fiery red. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, is there a particular place in your belly? Or is it,
The top part, not the bottom part of my
okay,
belly,
so
the
your
top
upper
part.
belly, above your belly button?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, okay, and below your solar plexus, below your ribs?
Mhm.
Okay, okay, great. So it's there. Now, if it had a size, how big would it be?
Pretty big, like the size of I guess like a football.
Okay, okay, about the
Yeah.
size of a football.
Mm.
If it had a shape, what words would you use to describe its shape?
Like a football. I don't know
Oh,
why I'm
okay.
picturing a
So
football.
it's big in the center and it's not round like a ball. It kind of narrows out to
Right.
the sides.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Um, if it had temperature, would it be hot, warm, cool, cold, or neutral? Sometimes temperature applies, sometimes it doesn't.
I don't feel the temperature really. No.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
Is there any movement? In other words, and there's two kinds of movement that could exist. One would be the the fiery red football itself is moving around, or there could be movement inside the fiery red football. Does either of those happen?
I guess it's there floating around. The ball is floating.
Okay, so it's not like it's locked in place, but it's not moving a lot.
No.
It's just able to move if you
If it needs
shift.
to.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Boundary, like you and I have a boundary of skin. Like our skin is pretty well defined as outside of this layer is not
Mhm.
me, and inside this layer is me.
Right.
Uh, does this fiery red football thing of frustration have a boundary, a well-defined boundary? Is it fuzzy? Does it just sort of fade gradually, or is it abrupt like our skin?
I think I can imagine, like sometimes it's like a feeling and then I imagine it, but I don't see in like pictures. But if I could, like if I
Yeah.
imagine it, um, it's clear. It's not fuzzy. Like I can see the football.
Okay.
Like not, I don't know how to describe it. I think I feel it more than I am that I see it visually in my mind.
That's
That's what
fine.
I wanted.
That's
But
fine.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
Now, when I say the boundary, think of, um, uh, I don't know, a marble. A marble has a very well-defined boundary, like it's just a tiny surface. A tennis ball, you've held a tennis ball, it's got sort of that fuzz on it,
Yes.
or a peach, same
Hmm.
kind of thing. It's a little bit fuzzy, or you know the glow you see from a street lamp when it's foggy?
Hmm.
That's a very diffuse boundary. So where in that range from totally diffuse, like the street light in the fog, to very
Oh, I see what you
fine,
mean.
like a marble, like if you were
It's
to touch it.
associated. I can see it clear. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so what kind of a boundary does it have?
The one with the diffused with the light that
Oh,
I
okay,
yeah.
so it's very diffuse. All right,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So we've got location, we've got color, we've got size. Oh, if it had weight, how heavy would it be? Or light?
It's a bit heavy, like mid weight,
Okay,
but I don't
so,
know how many pounds.
yeah, that's okay. I don't want a number.
No, right,
Okay.
right. It's not like heavy, heavy, and it's not light, mid weight. Yeah.
Okay, now in terms of the color, the bright red, there's two ways that something can be bright red. One way is that you've painted it with bright red paint and you're seeing light reflected off of it. Like you took, I don't know, something in your room and you painted it bright red. You would look at it and it'd be bright red. The other way for something to be bright red is that there's a light source inside of it. And what you're seeing is the glow from the inside. Now, which,
I think it's
Yeah.
from inside because again, it was more that I felt
that's
it
fine.
was fiery red,
Yeah,
but then I also see it as a football brown red, like a brown.
that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, our feeling, the kinesthetic and the visual don't have to match perfectly. That's perfectly normal.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So now we've got this pretty well defined.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we have, call it anthropomorphized or personified or vivified this sensation. It now has, it's now like a symbol on its own. So we're going to play with that symbol and find out what happens. Okay. Now, when you feel this as a fiery red, sort of brown, football-sized thing that's a little bit heavy, sitting in the upper part of your stomach, of your belly, that's no temperature, and it seems it's a diffuse boundary, and it seems to be illuminated from the inside. When it's like that, that's a feeling that you call frustration.
Yes.
Okay, now let's play with it. What happens if you were to make that football, 10% bigger?
Wow. It's overwhelming.
Okay, it gets to be too much.
Yeah.
Okay, make it 10% smaller.
Yes, it's lighter. It shrunk. The ball shrunk a
Okay,
bit.
okay. Now take it back to the original size, because we're going to play
Yeah.
where this is like we're turning the knobs here to find out what they do.
Right.
So size makes a big difference. What happens if you change the color from fiery red to a gentle pastel pink?
I guess it's less. It's more calmer.
Okay.
Calmer. I feel calm. Yeah.
What happens if you keep changing the color and make it a gentle shade of aqua blue, kind of like the colors in the water behind me on this image.
Yeah,
What happens if you make it that color, one of those colors?
I like it better. It's calmer even still.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Cooler, calmer.
okay, so, and now shrink it down to half of its size and keep it that bluish color.
I feel a bit calmer, like it's calming it.
Okay,
My
now,
stomach, and it's not like, you know,
okay, can you still call this frustration?
I do, but it's a lot less. It's a lot
Okay,
calmer, like
okay,
it's
it's still
a bit more
frustration.
manageable, like.
Okay, it's still frustration, but it's easier to manage. Okay,
Yeah.
now take that, keep it blue. Blue seems to be a good color for it.
Yeah.
Is there a color that's even calmer than blue?
Green.
Green. Okay, okay, make it green. Should it be a saturated green, like the leaves on the trees behind me? Or should it be a very delicate green? Just a hint of green.
Like an not an emerald green, but like the leaves of a tree, but lighter ones. Like in the
Okay,
background, your water on one side that got
yep,
greener, that
right,
one. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So make it that color.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, and now shrink it down so that it's the size of a drop of water.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have this green drop of water somewhere in your belly.
Mhm.
Um, is it still frustration?
No, it's like a
What would you
calm,
what would you name it?
peaceful.
Peaceful. Ah, from frustrated to peaceful.
Yes.
So doing those two little things transformed frustration into peace. Okay, let's try
Mhm.
something. Let's try something different. Go back to the original fiery orange football or fiery red football. And now do something that ought to be impossible if we're actually talking about sensations, but nobody has any difficulty doing it. And just move it out of your body to the outside the room.
It's a bit lighter, a lot. Yeah.
It's a bit lighter. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
send it to which side of Toronto do you live on? The east or the west?
At the West.
You live on the west side, which is the Mississauga.
Tobago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Etobicoke,
Mississauga,
Mississauga. Okay.
Tobago
Send
live.
it,
Yeah.
send it to Pickering.
Okay. Okay. Yes, it's over there, Pickering, the
Okay.
football.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
what's the emotion? What did that do to the emotion?
It dissipated, like it's gone, I
Gone.
think.
It's gone. Okay, okay. Now, let's just be playful here. Bring
Yeah.
back the frustration. And I
Yes.
want you to do these three things all together.
Okay.
Change it from fiery red to that delicate green. Shrink it down to the size of a drop of water and send it to Pickering. All
Okay.
three of those at once.
Um, yes, it's gone.
It's gone.
Feel at peace.
Mhm. So now we've taken an emotion that
And
frustrated the hell out of you, really annoyed you, and you want it, and you're frustrated about it. You're feeling frustrated, and there's another emotion that's on top of that, a meta emotion, that you don't like the fact that you're frustrated.
yes. Mm-hmm.
So you've got the emotion and the emotion that you're feeling about having that emotion.
Yes.
Okay, now, when you did those three things, when you changed the color to green, shrunk it to the size of a drop of water and sent it to Pickering, what happened to that meta emotion?
I think it's gone with it. Yeah, it's gone with it because it's like I'm trying to picture like my friend and I in the room again with that emotion, and it's like it's okay. That's like your opinion. I'll just listen to you, and
Yeah.
even if it's wrong or I know the facts, like
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so you have taken an emotion and the meta emotion of not liking having that emotion, and
right.
they're gone. You've
Yeah.
you've cranked them down to zero, just like that.
The mind is powerful if we know how to direct it properly.
Yes. Now, okay, that's powerful. So that's tool number two. That's what I call emotional control.